So we're here tonight at Harold Hill Football Club, and I'm joined by Jonjo Shelvey and Colin Reid. Jonjo, we're here surrounded by young players tonight, and for those who don't know how to get to the position you're in now, tell us a little bit how you got there.
I listened to my coaches. I was a kid here one day, back in the day, and I think you just have to take it all in and listen to your coaches and then develop the skills that they put in place for you. And I'm sure if you're willing to do that and believe in yourself, then you've got a good chance of becoming a footballer.
And how old were you when you got spotted?
I was 9 at first when I got spotted by Arsenal, and I went into Arsenal and didn't work out and went to West Ham, and that's where I met Colin Reid, and he was training the older lot at West Ham, and I was still a young kid, but he got on well with my dad, and then I used to come home and work with him in the summer when I went to Liverpool, before I went to Liverpool, and he used to develop my game, and obviously I think I owe a lot to Colin, and he's really helped me as a footballer, as he's done with many players.
And Colin, you've worked as a coach to many successful football players. What did you see in Jonjo?
Right from an early age, he was very neat and tidy. Technically, he was very good on the ball. He had an ability to see things, great vision, and that's at a young early age. So he stood out. He looks a natural footballer, but he had that extra sort of mental strength, and he was a winner. When you see him on the field, he would get in scraps because his willingness to win. Very competitive, and that stood out from an early age, and obviously that's helped him as he's progressed and become the player he has today.
And Jonjo, is there a skill you are known most for, something that is a real strength?
Probably my shooting from longer range and my longer range passing. That's where I probably owe a lot to Colin. Every summer I used to work, because obviously I couldn't work with him during the season, obviously because of travel commitments and things like that, but in the summer I used to go and work with him in the off-season, and he really used to work me hard, and some days I'd hate him, but at the end of the day he was first class to me, and he put on drills for me that made me a better player, and obviously I owe a lot to him.
And you were the youngest player to make your debut at Charlton Athletic. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was a big moment for me. I think my dad and my family had about 3 coaches full go up to Barnsley to watch the game, but it wasn't a great result. But it started me on the road to be able to get the terms of professional football and the understanding of the pro game. And it's a big difference playing youth team football to playing in the first team every week, and it teaches you a lot about life. But I owe a lot to Alan Pardew for putting me in on that day.
And Liverpool?
Yeah, it was a shock coming to go into Liverpool. I remember walking into the office at Charlton with the manager and the chairman, and the chairman said to me, "Who's your favourite player?" I said, "Steven Gerrard, when you're going to be playing with him next year." I was a bit like, "Oh, okay." So I went home, and they wouldn't let me train that day, and I wanted to go back to my old school and tell everyone, but you couldn't at the time. But I remember getting the train up there to sign the deal. We left about 7 from the local train station, and that's where my brother's mate's suit to go and meet to Liverpool. We weren't blessed with loads of money growing up, but it was a bit surreal really, going into Melwood training ground and meeting. Rafa Benitez was the manager at the time, and there was Gerrard there, Alonso, and people like that, and it was just a bit surreal.
And you mentioned earlier that Steven Gerrard was a player that inspired you growing up and to become a footballer yourself. Why is that?
I just loved watching everything about him. The way he played on the pitch. He could run, he could tackle. He weren't afraid of putting his foot in. He was very quick as a player. He was very powerful, and I always tried modelling my game on him. But there obviously comes a time when you have to stand on your own 2 feet and become your own player. And I feel that I've learnt a lot of him, but I feel that I'm benefiting from being myself as well.
Fantastic. And what was the most exciting time of your career to date?
Probably either winning the Carling Cup or for Liverpool, or making my England debut at Wembley against San Marino. It was a proud moment of mine.
And what's been the hardest moment?
Probably losing to Cardiff in the South Wales derby. It's a tough place to go, and we let all the Swansea fans down that day, and it's something that as players we regret, but luckily we beat them in the return leg at our place.
How do you pick yourself up again?
I'd probably watch the game over and see where I went wrong, what I did wrong, and I listen to my managers or my coaches. And I mean, a lot of clubs have got psychiatrists now, and they help you analyse games, and you have to listen to them and look at the videos, and I think that's how you become a better player.
Is positive thinking an important part for you?
Yeah, it is. I think obviously even when I've had a bad game, my dad's always on the phone to tell me that he's probably the worst critic and he's probably the best critic. He'll hold his hand up and tell me whether I've had a good game or not. And if he's said I've had a bad game, I've had a bad game. But if I've had a good game, he'll be the first to pat me on my back.
And would you have a lucky item of clothing? You don't put your lucky boots on or your...
I have a pair of lucky pants.
Hey.
I mean, we get the slips that we have to wear that the club supply, but I went out and bought myself a pair of slips from House of Fraser, and the first time I wore them was against Southampton away when I scored the winner, and so I've kept them on ever since.
They're still going?
Yeah. They get washed though.
I'm glad to hear it. What would you say to inspire future players at this age?
I think when I was this age, it was all about absorbing everything. You've got to be like a sponge and taking things in and listen to your coaches like Colin. Obviously, as a teenager, there's obviously going to be temptations elsewhere in life, but I mean, I had a strong support from my family and my coaches and things like that. My dad would never let me go off the boil. He was always kept me focused, and I felt like growing up I was missing out, but looking back at it now, I've obviously reaped the rewards, and I'm loving life, playing football every weekend.
And Colin, you're going to show us some practices.
Yeah, obviously we're going to show some practices, and Jonjo's renowned for his long distance shooting and his long passing, and we can show you how to improve those as well.